Hi everyone, I'm so glad you're here joining us for a read aloud. Today we're going to do an informational text and the book I have chosen is Skateboarding. So the reason why I chose this is because oftentimes we think about informational texts, nonfiction books, all about books as just about animals, and that's really not at all true. Animal nonfiction books are only one part of nonfiction. There are so many things included, topics that you can learn about when you read nonfiction books. So I decided to pick a book that was about a hobby like skateboarding. So let me check, make sure I have all of my materials. I have my book, I have my reader's notebook, and I have some sticky notes. I also have a pen to write with, and actually it looks like I have a pen still stuck inside of my reader's notebook. Now, the second thing I have to do is check the learning progression and determine a skill or two skills that I want to work on in my reading today. So I'm going to start here with my informational reading progression. That means nonfiction books. And I'm going to look for something that I haven't practiced in a while or I haven't even practiced before. So let me go down. Envisioning, I've done that. Monitoring for sense, finished. Fluency. I could make sure that my fluency, I'm pausing when I get to punctuation, and I'm letting punctuation be a guide. So that will be one thing I focus on. I've done these. Inferring within text and cohesion. This sounds like something that I could definitely practice. I can talk and write about information and ideas that hold parts of the text together. Usually this means I talk about the relationship between cause and effects, or about the things that happen first, next, or the main ideas and examples. Okay, so I'm going to be looking out for some cause and effect and things that happen first, next, or main ideas and examples. So I've got fluency, noticing punctuation, inferring within text. And I'm also going to look out for places where in the text they're using a compare and contrast structure. So I've got 3 goals today, and I'm going to write those in my notebook. Okay, in my writer's notebook, I'm going to open up to a new page. Wow, this is getting pretty full. Here. Okay, Skateboarding by Serena Ramsey. So of course I'm going to start by orienting. Even though it wasn't one of my goals, I always orient when I start a new book. So look at the title, Skateboarding. The back, it says, Todd is a huge skateboarding fan. Using the internet for research, Todd finds out how skateboards are made and how the designs have changed since the 1960s. I'm wondering if that's going to teach me some things that I'll need a timeline for. Then it's time to choose the right skateboard. Get decked out in the safety equipment and learn how to control the board. But will Todd find a safe place to practice his new skateboarding skills? Dun, dun, dun. So this is sounding like it's going to be kind of like narrative nonfiction. Like it's going to teach me facts about skateboarding, but it's going to be through this story about Todd. It's also written in chapters. I'm going to take a look at the table of contents. Skateboard research, decked out, skating history, on the move, skater free zone, and petition pays off. Okay, so I think that this book, like I said, it's going to teach me about skateboarding, obviously, but also because I read on the back blurb that it will say he learns about how the designs have changed since the 1960s. Maybe he'll learn about the history. That might mean I'll need to take some notes in a timeline. I'm just going to take a quick jot of that. Chapter 1, Skateboard Research. Todd was a huge skateboarding fan, and there was just one problem. He didn't have a skateboard of his own. But today he was in luck. He'd saved enough pocket money to buy his own board. Mom and Dad said they would go with him to the skateboard shop once Todd had decided what type of board he wanted. But Todd really wasn't sure about what type of board he needed. He'd seen heaps of different boards in lots of shops. But what was the difference between them, he wondered. Todd needed to do some research so that he could buy the skateboard that suited him best. Todd decided to use the internet to help him choose which skateboard to buy. He found that there was a wide range of boards available. Nearly every board is individual, but most of them are made from Canadian or American maple wood. Todd discovered that there are two main types of skateboards. The main difference between them is in the width and the weight of the boards and the size of the wheels. Wide boards with big wheels are used for skating on a ramp or in a bowl. Narrow boards with light wheels are used for skating on the street. Okay, so I noticed something as I was reading. I had this one sentence. It was, Todd discovered that there are two main types of skateboards. And my brain went, ding, 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 compare and contrast. They're going to tell me about two different things and how they're alike and how they're similar. So I'm going to make a quick Venn diagram in my notes. I've changed clothes. It's movie magic. Okay. Some of the boards Todd saw on the internet had a high curve or kicktail at the back. These boards are used for doing tricks. One of the websites had a section on skateboards for beginners. Todd learned that these boards are a little shorter and wider than normal boards. They have standard plastic wheels and are ideal for learning to skate. Todd logged off the internet and decided that a beginner's board would be best. Now he couldn't wait to get to the shop to buy his very own skateboard. So one of the things I was going to be noticing is like how things connect to each other, so kind of the cause and effect. And I noticed a few things. Todd was interested in skateboards, and that caused him to want to buy one. However, he didn't know the type of skateboard he needed, and that caused him to go to the internet for some research. So I'm just going to write down some of these cause and effect relationships in my notebook to prove that I'm thinking about inferring. I've changed clothes. It's movie magic. Okay. Some of the boards Todd saw on the internet had a high curve or kicktail at the back. These boards are used for doing tricks. One of the websites had a section on skateboards for beginners. Todd learned that these boards are a little shorter and wider than normal boards. They have standard plastic wheels and are ideal for learning to skate. Todd logged off the internet and decided that a beginner's board would be best. Now he couldn't wait to get to the shop to buy his very own skateboard. So one of the things I was going to be noticing is like how things connect to each other, so kind of the cause and effect. And I noticed a few things. Todd was interested in skateboards, and that caused him to want to buy one. However, he didn't know the type of skateboard he needed, and that caused him to go to the internet for some research. So I'm just going to write down some of these cause and effect relationships in my notebook to prove that I'm thinking about inferring. So as you can see here, I'm going to put a box around this. I've made kind of a cause and effect table. I've noticed some things that happened that had an impact on what happened next. So first, Todd was interested in skateboards, and that caused him to want to buy one. He wasn't sure what type of board he should pick, so that caused him to look onto the internet to do some research. This is inferring. This is what I'm doing here. I'm noticing kind of the cause and effect in this informational text. Chapter 2, Decked Out. Todd and his parents went to the local skateboard shop. Todd knew exactly which way they would go because he passed it on his way home from school every day. He always stopped and looked in the window, hoping that one day he would have his own board. The shop was full of the latest skateboards. It also had a big range of safety equipment and clothes. Todd's father pointed to an old poster that showed a skateboarder from years ago. Todd realized how much lighter and wider the boards are today. He noticed that the shape of the boards has changed. The old boards were very flat, but the new boards are curved at the sides and at the ends. He also noticed that the skater was not wearing any safety gear. So I'm thinking again about that inferring goal, where like I'm kind of noticing how things go. Sometimes it's like first and then next. This is kind of the history a little bit of skateboarding. I'm going to add that into my notes. Soon it was time for Todd to choose his own board. The shop assistant was very helpful. She showed Todd a range of boards that would be suitable for beginners. There were so many colorful boards to choose from. You can see in the image there all the boards. Then she showed him the three main parts of a skateboard: the deck, the truck, and the wheels. The deck. This is the top of the board. It is made of thin layers of wood and is covered with grip tape, which is like sticky sandpaper. This helps your feet grip the board. The trucks. These are metal objects that connect the wheels to the board. The trucks steal the wheels in response to the way the skater moves. The wheels. The wheels are made from tough plastic and they come in different sizes. It didn't take long for Todd to choose his new skateboard. He decided on a black board with white wheels. The board also had a colorful picture underneath it. The shop assistant made Todd stand on the board to check that the board was the right length and to make sure he felt comfortable. In no time at all, Todd was decked out with his safety equipment. Finally, Todd was all set and ready to go. Helmet. Protects against head injuries, make sure it is the right size, and has an adjustable chin strap. Elbow pads. Guard against knocking the funny bone. Wrist guard. Protect against hand and wrist injuries. Knee pads. Protect against bumps and grazes. Shoes. Protect the feet. Good solid shoes are helpful for stopping. Okay, I'm going to pause here. We're about halfway through the book, and I'm going to finish up my reading for today. My goals today were fluency, inferring within the text, and comparing and contrasting. I haven't taken many notes about fluency, but I feel like I've done a pretty good job. I didn't have many places where I made any mistakes. And so sometimes that can happen to you too. And all you have to do is make a note about it. Just to make a note to say, today my fluency was fine, right? I didn't make any mistakes and I didn't have anything to work on. So I'm going to make that note now. All right, readers, that's all the reading I'm going to do for today. I might make a second read aloud video to finish this book, or I might just read it on my own. I haven't decided yet. But I'm also thinking about what is the next book I'm going to read after I finish skateboarding. If you have any ideas, make sure to let me know because I would love to read some books that you want to hear. Yeah, happy reading. Have a great and amazing day. Bye.